(22nd of March 2022). What a wonderful day. Today we meet live on the eve of World Water Day. Namaskar, welcome, good evening. My name is Shekhar Suman. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Biotecnika. And I'm so proud today that today we are doing a session with Biocon Academy on a topic which is very, very dear to my heart, biology. We all fell in love with biology probably when we were kids. Am I right? Welcome, everybody. Please confirm in chat if you can see me and hear me clearly. Can I have some confirmations quickly? Yes? Can you hear me, guys? Okay, wonderful. So, guys, today is World Water Day. And probably biology would not have existed on planet Earth if water would not have existed on Earth. Am I right? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the chat section. Correct? Yes. So what better day to meet all of you than World Water Day? As the world today celebrates Water Day, World Water Day, let us come fall in love with biology once again with two mega brands coming together. Biocon Academy and Biotecnika bring to you technology-driven biology for the future. आज आपकी स्क्रीन पर हम दोनों प्रोफेशनल्स आएंगे. We both will come together with more than 40 plus years of experience, 25 years plus experience of Dr. Ishwaran and 15 years of mine. And together, we are going to take you through the technology-driven biology. Remember, in all my videos, in all my talks, in all my sessions, I always say that when you combine technology, when you stand at the forefront of technology, when you stand at the boundaries of science, arts, and commerce, that's where progress happens. Now, progress samajhne ke liye, to understand progress, let's go 50 or 60 years ago when India became independent. If you had a time machine and if you could go there, and if you had told anybody, including the great people who gave us freedom, who got us freedom, if you had told that 70 years from today, people will buy water, they will not be able to, drink any water source, they will have to buy water. They will not believe it. Am I right? Is it not right? So basically what has happened in past 70 years, if we understand that better, then only we can predict the future better. And that's what our Biocon Academy academic director, Mr. Ishwan, brings to us. And that's the entire aim. Agar future janna hai to past mein jana padega, right? if we have to understand the technology which will drive our future, then we have to attend this webinar till the end. Because Biocon Academy brings to you this industry-sponsored special webinar, jahan par for the first time probably on internet, you will confront technologies which are going to revolutionize biology. So are you guys ready? Let me know in the comment section. Can you guys write bring it on, BIO, in the comment section? Agar aap ready hai, if you are ready, please type BIO. Biology bhi to BIO hi hai. Chalo, let's see. Who can type BIO first? Quickly, guys. Okay, the first person, Khushbu Bhati, has written BIO. Wonderful. Everybody, BIO. Bring it on, bring it on. Let's know the future of biology. फ्यूचर जानेंगे तो उस पर एक्ट कर सकते हैं. बिस्लरी को पता था फ्यूचर, देखो आज इंडिया का वर्ल्ड का ब्रांड है, सबसे बड़ा ब्रांड है, पानी बेच बेच के. Correct. If you know the future, if Biocon Academy tells you the future, if you act on it today, that is where you can be the biggest brand of tomorrow. You can be the biggest scientist of tomorrow. तो अगर आप रेडी हैं तो BIO चैट बॉक्स में लिखते जाइए quickly. Okay, wonderful. So guys, Biocon Academy is all ready to join you here. But I want to talk a bit about Biocon Academy first. Biocon is a household name today. Their products and their founder is a household name. In fact, बायोटेक सेक्टर में जब आप शायद पहली बार आए होंगे, आपको दो ही चीजें पता होगी, बायोकॉन और डॉक्टर किरण मजुमदार शॉ. You must have known both of them before you even entered biotech sector. In fact, if you tell anybody that you are in the biotech sector, they will say, oh, Biocon. Such is the name, Biocon. Now, Biocon Academy is a corporate social responsibility started a few years back to help guide, mentor, and enhance your skills, to show you the future today. They have taken out time. I'm so thankful to Dr. Ishwaran and the entire team of Biocon Academy who have made this possible. We approach a lot of companies to come up with these industry-sponsored webinars, but Biocon Academy always graces the occasion. They never deny. Whenever we request, they will be ready. So, kitni achhi cheez hai. This is such a great thing, isn't it? So, guys, let's bring up our academic director of our very own Biocon Academy. Dr. Ishwaran, over to you, and I will meet you guys at the end with the Q&A session. So please attend till the end. You will know the future of biology right here in this webinar. Over to you, Dr. Ishwaran.
So good evening to all of you, and thank you very much, Suman. As you said, whenever a call comes from Biotecnika, we don't say no to it for two reasons. Number one, both of us have the common objective of enhancing the skills of biotechnology segment, and particularly the biotechnology aspirants. And adding value is something both of us can do very easily, because we have the common mindset, we have the common goals, and we have the common thoughts to share. So for these two reasons, whenever Biotecnika asks for a seminar or a webinar, we never deny that, and it is a nice opportunity every time to meet all of you through this platform. So that being said, I would like to quickly take a minute of what Biocon Academy stands for. Biocon Academy stands for creating a center of excellence for applied life sciences, and to create a very competitive biotech ecosystem to really, through skill development, particularly through skill development. If I have to translate it, what is in it for you? What is in it for you is that you are the skilled talent pool who can make difference to the world. This is very, very important for all of us. So biotechnology sector is the fastest growing sector in India from the market sector perspective. And if we have to leverage this high speed or the pace of the growth, then it is very important that we need a talented pool in the market. And this talented manpower, this talent pool is going to really change the face of biotechnology. The reason why I am saying specifically this particular talent pool is because there is a difference between what we were and what we are going to be. These three aspects are completely different, and I could see the difference. The difference what I'm seeing particularly is that earlier we used to say, if you have to be very very successful, you have to be an expert in your domain, whether it is microbiology, or it can be zoology, it can be botany, or it can be immunology, or virology, or biochemistry. If you are an expert in your domain, then you are the most successful person. Gradually the shift started happening. Then started people started understanding, we really cannot work in silos. A biochemistry person needs to know a little bit of microbiology. A virology person needs to know a little bit of immunology. So this combination started giving very good results. So currently we are in a situation where we understood that we are not in silos, we are in an ecosystem. And Biocon Academy is standing up for creating a very competitive ecosystem for all these young talents who are ready to make the change. What is that we have been feeling proud of in last say 25 years? When I thought about this particular topic, the topic what we are going to deal is technology driven biology. When I say technology driven biology, as Shekhar Suman was correctly mentioning, we are talking about technology driven biology for the future. When you say future, shall we kind of assign a number to it? For example, we are talking about 25 years from now. If we have to think what is it in store for 25 years after now or from now in biotechnology, it's a really good idea to look back and see what has happened in last 25 years in our domain. What are the things that really made us so busy, so excited? Number one, the Human Genome Project. Somewhere in the middle of this last 25 years, the Genome Project got over, and we have 20 to 25,000 human genes to work with. We are talking about 25,000 human genes, which means 25,000 large projects, 25,000 large companies we are talking about. If I take an example of a gene that is responsible for one particular oncogenesis, one particular type of cancer, which is equivalent to one company. So in the world, we are talking about an opportunity to attend to 25,000 different types of situations, 25,000 genes. So this is a super excitement we had in last 25 years. CRISPR-Cas9 is a very brilliant technology that came up in 15, 20 years back, and it started ruling the entire genetic world. We started seeing how CRISPR technology can be used in gene editing, and we have come to the stage where we are trying to understand how to even validate the presence or absence, or if you want to even silence a gene, how to do it through the CRISPR-Cas9 technology. So we are really fascinated and amused with how the CRISPR-Cas9 technology is working. The next wave came, that is AI/ML/DL. I'm sure that you all know it's a 1954 story, the artificial intelligence. But in last 25 years, there has been a focused development in lot of other areas, like it can be in information technology. For example, let's say, do you really imagine any phone, any mobile phone with a smile detector 25 years before? In last 25 years, if you can imagine, there are so many phones that have come which can detect your smile. How the phone is detecting your smile? It is because there is a pattern recognition, artificial intelligence. I don't know if you had a experience like this. You might have searched for some products in Amazon. After you search the product in Amazon, you move to your Facebook page, you move to your Instagram page. You will be surprised to see these products pops up in your Facebook page or in your Instagram page or in your Twitter page. How does it happen? How these individual platforms speak to each other? Artificial intelligence. So information technology is using the AI ML DL platform so very well. When I say ML, machine learning and deep learning technologies, very well. Automobiles, we are talking about driver free cars, driverless cars. Okay, today there are people who are driving the car like a driverless car only, but I'm talking about the real driverless cars. So these are things which we were never imagining, and it has been happening in last 25 years by the virtue of AI, ML, and DL. Crops, agriculture biotechnology. We have been thinking how to increase the productivity. Now we have a very strong genetic tool to create high yield variety crops, generally called as HYV crops. These HYV crops are genetically modified organisms, GMOs. Initially, there were a lot of contemplations in acceptance of GMOs. Over a period of time, we all understood this exactly works because it all comes to the market after a very high scrutiny. The same way the GMO works in areas of pest resistance also, pest control also. Earlier used to use biological pesticides, then we migrated to chemical pesticides. Later we understood there are harmful chemical pesticides. Now the genetics is providing a lot of insights in creating pest resistant GM crops. One of the example you might know is a BT cotton, that is Bacillus thuringiensis cotton variety, right? So these are things that are really happening or happen in last 25 years, which amused us. In the areas of healthcare, we were all actually wondering, what if we have a bank of organs? So if somebody loses a part of the organ, either the peripheral organs or the internal organs, in an injury or in a dysfunction or a malfunction, what if we can simply go to that bank and take an organ and fit in it into the body? So organ bank has been a dream. Now we are talking about artificial organ replacement. These artificial organ replacements are now possible because of the genetics on one side, on other side the technology. When I say technology, it includes the prosthetics, it includes the robotics, it includes the mechanics, and it includes the electronics. Automation in manufacturing. We have been bringing so much improvements in the manufacturing. Over a period of time, the people started actually understanding how to reduce variations in the manufacturing process. One of the nicest way is to make sure that to reduce the human intervention and make the processes automated. When I say processes automated, that doesn't mean that human beings are losing their jobs. The human beings continue to monitor the automation. It is just the physical work of the human being is being replaced by machines. So automation in manufacturing. These are the things which really kept us so busy in last 25 years. That being said, now I would like to come to the exciting part of how I started looking at the technology driven biology for next 25 years. When I'm talking about next 25 years, I was wondering how I have to write a diary. For example, 25 years from now, I have to write a diary. Now we are in 2022. 25 years means we are talking about 2047. So 2047 means exactly 100 years of our independence. After 100 years of independence, for example, this is how if I'm writing the diary. I descend from my 40th farming floor, looking at my mobile, showing the drone shots of the UAV, that is unmanned aerial vehicles. They send the predictions to my mobile of my small land which I own outside the city where I live. I sat in the car and told the driver app the place I want to go, and the car started. I was recollecting the injury I had in my hand few weeks back and led to the replacement of my left arm with the prosthetic one. Though I don't even feel the difference, as the entire healing process is managed by the internal injury is healed by the cells of my own body. That is my own stem cells, not the current cells, my own stem cells. Over a period of time, in the next few slides, I'll tell you what is the actual stem cell therapy means. A pop-up message appeared in my mobile screen with pictures of graphics of metabolic changes that's happening in my wife's liver. There is a reason to worry, but I am not actually worried, because we very well know when my wife is getting towards 40-45 years, she will get a fatty liver, because it has been predicted in my gene analysis, in her gene analysis. So when it is predicted in her gene analysis, at that time itself, we used a technology to silence it. So the predisposition of the fatty liver has been taken care long back. Even if small symptoms are going to come up, there are nanos which are going to take care of the noticeable changes. Only that what I have to do is I have to upload all these images that is coming in my mobile to the health app, so that it may probably go to the doctor, our family doctor, and the doctor has to appear in my home. not come to my home, or not my wife visiting the hospital or the clinic. Doctor appear in my home in the same afternoon. Okay, even if it is going, if the doctor is going to prescribe medicines, it is a billing free system. It is all billing free medicines, bill free system medicines made by robotic arms will be delivered at my doorstep. This is how I would like to write my diary note by 2047, that is 100 years of independence from now. Large scale vertical farming. There has been a lot of discussions on climate change. When there is a climate change, when there is a resource crunch, one of the major sector that is going to get impacted is agriculture. Gradually, the agricultural landscaping is gradually shrinking. When the agricultural landscape shrinks, when the resources are reduced, then we will be left with one very nice option, which is called as the vertical farming. For example, we will have 100 floors building, and in this 100 floors building, first few floors can be office, second few floors can be parking, and all other floors can be agriculture, can be farming. Which means that even if you have a very small area of 40,000 square feet, 50,000 square feet, still you can have productivity which is equivalent to 10 acres, 20 acres, because it is all vertically growing. So one of the very important change which I am looking forward, or at least I am envisaging in the future, is the full scale vertical farming. Today there are uh, initiations or beginnings that are happening to it. The other area where I'm really liking to see after 25 years at least, or in this 25 years as a journey, is how efficiently we are going to use the drones, and how efficiently we are going to use the unmanned aerial vehicles for the management of the agricultural operations. Are we really going to still use the human resource to spray the fertilizers, or are we going to use the unmanned aerial vehicles? Please remember that when we are moving towards these type of technologies, all these technologies will be available in affordable cost. Please don't think that is it possible in India, is it feasible in India. Whatever we thought which was not feasible in India in agriculture are now feasible in India. 25 years back, whatever we thought it wasn't possible, now it is possible. So I'm very optimistic that all these technologies will become very handy over a period of 25 years from now in the agricultural field. This is exactly what I was talking about, the unmanned aerial vehicles sending predictions to my mobile in my app. Because these vehicles can carry sensors. These sensors can tell me what is the moisture, what is the air pressure, what is the green coloration, what is the density of the green coloration of my plant, that we generally called as RGV. This RGV is one of the index through which we can understand whether the plant is healthy or not. The greenishness gives the indication whether the plant is healthy or not. So this information I'll get in my mobile, which gives me prediction of what I have to do. This is what I was talking about, the prosthetic uh, organ replacement. This prosthetic organ replacement is getting very close to reality because of bionics. When I say bionics, it is a combination of biology and electronics, biotechnology and electronics. Since this bionic prosthetic organ replacement is very, very important. It is not just for arms. Now we are moving towards creation of bionic heart, bionic eyes. Please don't be surprised if we are going to have bionic brains. When we are going to have the bionic brains, believe me, all of us are going to be super intelligent to manage these bionic brains. So we are moving towards bionic prosthetic replacement of small and large organs. It is very, very exciting. This is what I was talking about, the primary cell line. Okay, this primary cell line is very important. Over a period of time, all of us will get into a practice of depositing some of our cell line as soon as our babies are born, or our grandchildren are born. These cells are going to be stored in the cell bank, and these cells can be used for two purposes. Number one, for regeneration. Number two, for cell therapy. Cell therapy is going to rule this world over a period of time, is what at least I am thinking. Because You don't have to go out and think, what will I do to rectify some of the changes that is happening in my own cells? Think about it. How all these astrophysicists are imagining what is going to happen to Earth after 25 million years from now. What they are doing is, first they are thinking what has happened 25 million years before from the Big Bang theory. This is exactly what the principle is. This one cell is what has given rise to organs. This one cell is what has given rise to tissues, and collection of tissues are given rise to organs. So if you make changes in one cell and re-inject it, this is what is going to make the difference in you, in your body. So the cell therapy, and if I may, or if I will, if I can use the term gene therapy through cell therapy, is going to be very promising in the healthcare segment. This is very, very interesting. We are talking about nanomaterials for decades now, at least 2 decades. It is very, very most talked topic, well spoken topic in the biology and in the material sciences. These nanosensors can diagnose and treat disease. How about this? Think about it. If a person is suffering from cancer, if the person is going to be diagnosed with cancer, the diagnosis is done based on the symptoms, which means the symptoms are already shown up. When you say the symptoms are shown up, when the treatment is done, there are certain things which is not reversible. Body goes through certain irreversible changes. The tissues goes through certain irreversible changes. So now what we are doing is, only we are trying to improve the longevity and quality of life. That's all we are doing. How about having nanosensors already circulating in your body, which detects some of the unusual changes in your metabolic systems? If there are cancer markers, if it detects the cancer markers in very early stage, if there is continuous multiplication of one particular cell and there is a tissue mass, how about early detection? This is very, very important. These nanosensors are going to revolutionize the way we are imagining the diagnosis and treatments of the diseases. Not only about the lifestyle diseases, but also neurological developmental disorders. For example, it can be Parkinson disease or it can be Alzheimer's. So these are all comes in the geriatric conditions, very old age. When these comes up in the old age, generally it is only about the management of these diseases. How about predicting? How about understanding these things if comes up early in the stage? Nanosensors are the solutions which probably can rule this entire diagnostic. We call it as the early diagnosis through microsensors or nanosensors. This is one way of looking at the development. The other way of looking at the development from CRISPR-Cas9. Friends, what I'm currently doing is, I am not talking about any disruptive technology because I don't know what will come up. What I'm thinking is, what will happen if the current technology goes through a disruption in 25 years from now? That's exactly what I'm imagining. What if currently we have a system to really predict the upcoming lifestyle diseases, particularly inherited diseases, through gene profiling? In gene profiling, we come to the stage of detecting it. How about silencing it? Maybe currently it is in the research stage. Over a period of next 25 years, it has to become a practice. Now you imagine the longevity will increase, the quality of life will increase by design, not by treatment, not by management. So we'll have healthy people in the world. CRISPR-Cas9 technology can edit gene to avoid lifelong inherited diseases. It can be neurological diseases or it can be metabolic disorders. If metabolic disorders and neurological disorders are taken care, even before these genes are expressed, nothing like that. This is exactly what we can imagine that it is there in the store. When some of the diseases occur, in over a period of these 25 years, when some of the diseases occur, how about we don't go to the hospital? How about the doctor visits your home? If the doctor has to visit each home, it is unlike the early ages. 25 years back, 50 years back, I also have heard that family doctor visits the home. Okay, nowadays this is not happening. The families has to really go to the hospital. If the doctor has to visit the home, how many doctors you need in the world? How about replicating one doctor? I'm not talking about cloning. Okay, I'm talking about holographic consultations. How about one doctor appears in different homes in holography? This holographic simulations of doctors, holographic consultations can revolutionize the way we really look into the way the diseases are diagnosed. Now, if these doctors have to diagnose the diseases, these doctors certainly cannot diagnose through your palpitation, which means they cannot touch and feel and understand what you are going through. Certainly, they need a lot of data. Where the data is coming from and how it happens is through artificial intelligence. So, over a period of 25 years, towards 25 years, we will gradually move towards not the evidence based diagnosis, but towards data based diagnosis. When we are moving towards data based diagnosis, this is going to be super efficient. Imagine currently we have a technology developed by IBM platform. For example, I'm talking about IBM Watson. The IBM Watson proves to be efficient than a oncological surgeon or an oncological physician, oncophysician or oncosurgeon in diagnosis. The reason is the number of data points a machine can refer to in a fraction of a second is different from the number of data points through experience a doctor can refer in his lifetime. We are talking about thousands and lakhs of doctors' knowledge in one machine. So essentially, the efficiency is very high. If you ask me, can I believe a machine? Now comes the question: are you not believing the ATM machine? How many times you take the currency from an ATM machine and stand there and count whether it is correct or not? Maybe first time, second time, probably you would have done that. Maybe that's the first time or second time you might have used the ATM machine. But now we are used to even you start believing, you're used to this technology, and we believe in the ATM machine that it will dispense exactly the same amount, sometimes more if not less, if you're lucky. Like we have seen in the news that there are some farmers who have got lakhs of rupees dispensed just because of a malfunctioning of a machine. That is a different story altogether. So over a period of time we will realize that these machines will become dependable. The reason is it is not just the artificial intelligence. There are certain neurological um, you know uh, neurological adjustments these machines goes through. Okay, these neurological adjustments will allow the machine to think by itself. When the machine starts thinking by itself, it will start correcting itself. This is the second stage, which is called as machine learning. The third stage is the reinforcement learning. Moment it corrects, it will start thinking deep. This is called as the deep learning or a reinforcement learning. So over a period of time, artificial intelligence based diagnosis and treatment should come into practice so that we start living healthy life longer. This is about the disease diagnosis. How about the drug discovery? Sometime back, I had a discussion with a small group of people in academy about the drug discovery pathway. And I was telling them the current drug discovery pathway is my age. It is a very conventional way of looking at the drug discovery. You youngsters should look at drug discovery in a very different eye. You have a technology in hand. Think about it. If you are detecting a disease, if you are detecting a new disease or a disorder, you don't have to start from the scratch, because now you have thousands of disease in database, millions of molecules in the database. The first thing you have to do is do data mining. Through data mining, you will have data to prove the concept that this particular molecule can be used, or probably, or it is a potential molecule to treat the particular disease or a disorder. Deep learning will give lot of information about the structure based correlation to the disease and the molecule which you are talking about. Okay, and the pathway engineering or the pathway scoring is can be done through the artificial intelligence. These three will give you a very strong information on what are the possible leads. When I say leads, these are the possible molecules that can be developed as a drug that can be developed as a medicine that can be used to treat various diseases. So, what are the things you need to know about these particular drugs? One, whether it is effective, whether it has any adverse side effects, or whether it is having efficiency or any safety problems. So, you just want to know whether it is effective, whether it is safe. These two things can be completely understood from the lead database. After all this is done, you need to just prove all your concept in vitro. In vitro means in the laboratory condition, and then you have to do the validation through the clinical trials. Please remember, I'm not encouraging any of you to think that whatever machine says you have to believe. End of the day, as human beings, we have to validate it. We have to prove that your thinking is right, because we are talking about lives. We are talking about making difference to the lives. If that is the case, you have to be doubly sure. For you to be double sure, you have to do the validation to understand whether this concept works or not. So the AI aided drug discovery, I'm very positive that it is going to make a lot of differences in the way the drugs are discovered and brought to the market. Once the drug is discovered in this pathway, now coming to how the drugs are manufactured. In last 25 years, there are a lot of development that has happened in the manufacturing stage. We are now very familiar with the term GMP, standing for good manufacturing practice. In this last 25 years, we have come to the stage to move this GMP to the next platform, which is called as GAMP, that is good automated manufacturing practice. Moment you move from GMP to GAMP, the assurance level increases. The assurance on quality increases. How about increasing more? How about having more assurance is through including robotic manufacturing practices. I don't know whether this term is existing now, but I like to use this term good robotic manufacturing practices. This good robotic manufacturing practices are absolutely the high-end practices which is going to allow a complete human intervention free manufacturing process. Again, I would like to mention here, this is nothing to do with reducing the human power. It is nothing to do with human activity, reducing the human activity. It is more to do with how to add value to human life. Human being will continue to get intellectually challenging jobs. Okay, it is only the question of what is the job they perform. There will be a change in the job that they perform, but they will continue to do the job. So the transition between from GMP to GAMP has happened, and I would really like to see, at least if I'm going to be there for next 25 years, I would like to see GRMP before I vanish from this space and become topsoil. So this is one thing I would really see coming. And once these products comes up to the market and comes to the pharmacy, in the pharmacy you don't need to carry a prescription. You don't need to stand in the queue for waiting for somebody to really take your prescription, give your medicine and all that. It should become like a supermarket. There are racks available. In each rack only it is mentioned as it is hypertensive, anti-diabetic, anti-cancer drugs, anti-inflammatory. That's all it should be written. Moment you go into this, everything is barcode scanned and it is RFID detected. Once you go to the pharmacy, it should clearly say, this is the prescription you are having in your pocket. This is the barcode saying these medicines are available in these racks. You take whatever number of packs you want to take and put it in the trolley, just cross. When it is crossing, barcode is scanned, amount is deducted from your credit card, go away. It is as simple as that, right? There is a design by which you can prevent malfunctions to happen, malpractices to happen. Please remember, whenever we are talking about new technologies, there are certain hiccups in the initial stages. Over a period of time, all of us know how to get over all this and become or to bring an efficient pathway. So these are things which has to become the practice of tomorrow. To summarize what I have been discussing so far is, up to now, we have come to the realization that the science is not very effective if it is dealt in silos. as a microbiology, as immunology, as virology, as diagnostic sciences, as electronics, as computer science, as artificial intelligence. These things independently is not adding value. Everything coming together is adding value. Moving forward in next 25 years, way the young talent in India should start thinking is that they should have a very interesting model called as a T model. My colleague, Miss Bindu, I'm sure she's also in this session, she used to refer to something called as a T model of uh, capability, which means that you should have broad knowledge on various things. It could be electronics, it could be genetics, it could be immunology, it can be AI. You should have multiple domains. You should have fair knowledge on all this, and you have a deep rooted knowledge on only one. This is typically called as a T model of competency. So over a period of time, I really wish that all the young talents really becomes multidisciplinary in nature, multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary in nature, having a T model of competency in them, and they surely are the ones who make or can make a difference to this world. Thank you very much. Be prepared for the exciting future. The answer is absolute yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was really, really insightful. I thoroughly enjoyed the presentation and the talk. I think it's one of a kind and very futuristic. I loved the presentation, like I said earlier. And thank you so much for your time today. So now, guys, we will move on to the Q&A session. And as you can see, Mr. Ishwaran, Dr. Ishwaran has shown us huge spectrum of the future. Probably the future of, biology is it's glorious, but, Biocon may be working on different products. Biotecnika may be working on different products. We would have moved on from today. But if you want to move on from today, then you need to be a part of this biological revolution, which is happening at Biocon Academy. Yes, you heard me right. Biocon Academy has so far given 20 plus batches of the KGI program, K Global Institute program. It's a skill development course which Biocon Academy conducts in India in collaboration with KGI. Let me tell you this before I start the Q&A session. Let me tell you this. They have 100% placement record. In fact, the last batch, it got placed within 2.5 hours of, announcement of the placement day. You can just imagine. Biocon Academy, Biotecnika, and companies like us are striving hard to push you to the future. 25 years from today, you will certainly thank Dr. Ishwaran. You will certainly realize that the world around us is changing. 70 years ago, we were not selling water. Today, Bisleri exists. 50 years from today, 25 years from today, synthetic biology, AI, machine learning, everything will be there. But you may get left out if you do not join Biocon Academy. Biocon Academy admissions are going to start very soon. We're going to put the notifications on Biotecnika, so don't miss out on that. Okay. So now we'll pick and choose the question. So guys, please put in the questions in the comment section, write a Q and then the question. I'll pick them out, ask to Dr. Ishwaran, and he will answer it to you directly. Okay. Now, while you're typing your questions, let me remind you this. I have a favorite line which I keep telling in almost every webinar I conduct, and that is, if you want to become cutting edge, then you have to stand out of the crowd. You have to go beyond the edge. You have to stand at the boundary of art, science, and commerce. If you want to do that, then Biocon Academy presents an excellent platform, and so does Biotecnika. We have been working hard for this day and the day forward. So let's see if you have any questions, guys. Okay, there's a question from Amit. Can you please give some comments on the traditional medicine and technology? Over to you, Ishwaran sir.
Yes. So these traditional medicines and technology will continue. For sure, it is continue. It will continue because, as I was telling you, even if I go back to the previous 25 years, the Ayurveda has been there, homeopathy has been there, right? So absolutely, that is a parallel line that will continue. I'm not saying that that is a fallback option. These two are different doctrines by itself. Modern medicine will continue, traditional medicines will continue, both will add value.
So both will go hand in hand, as you heard from the expert Amit. So technology is definitely going to enhance Ayurveda. Technology is definitely going to help Ayurveda reach more people. Technology is where everything exists. So let's move on to the next question quickly. Anyone, please put in your questions. I'm waiting for your questions. In the meanwhile, let me remind you what I said. You need to have the T-shaped skill. You need to be a master of one, but you need to have a broad knowledge of everything else around you, right? And that's what our education system initially intended to do, but still there exists a gap in between academia and industry. And this gap is being masterfully bridged by the CSR initiative by Biocon, and that's called Biocon Academy. Enhancing skills is their goal, and if that is your goal, then come join us at Biocon Academy. Okay, so in the meanwhile, we're getting some more questions. Uh, Sanju, it was an informative talk. Is precision medicine one of the emerging future technologies? Over to you, sir.
100% yes. Precision medicine is an emerging technology, because more and more we move forward, we'll gradually see people will actually feel the value addition when it is personalized. Okay,
Right.
so more and more you start personalizing the medicines, more and you start personalizing use of technologies, you will see it becomes more precise and precise. So the precision
Mhm.
medicine is going to continue to grow, and it is going to continue to sharpen its arms to reach the right set of people who are in need.
So you heard it right there from the horse's mouth. Yes, it's going to grow. Okay, so now we can have the next question from Subhash. And he says, what will be the future of generic and biosimilar medicines? Over to you, sir.
Generic and biosimilars are recent trends. I may not say that it's a very recent one, but for sure it has lot of potential to grow and evolve, because currently India is one of the toppest exporters of biosimilars, and we will continue to have the stake, and we will continue to hold this leadership position. When India
Right.
is holding these leadership positions, there are a lot of countries will step in into this business, and we will see globally this biosimilars and generic market will grow.
Absolutely. All right. So that's the answer to your question. Subhash, coming up, we have Aishwarya Ravi's question, and that says, what about the future of petroleum industry? Whether we'll completely move from fossil fuel to bio-derived products? Over to you, sir.
I'm really not expert to talk about the petroleum industry from the industry perspective, but I can answer if the second part of the question. The natural energy, when you're talking about biodiesel, okay, or hydrogen production, India is not in the leadership position. Over a period of time, when India gets into the leadership position, I can give some examples of the visible ones. For example, there are companies like BioAlgen, or it can be there can be companies like Reliance. Reliance has put up a 3,000 acres open pond for biohydrogen production. When these things comes into the market, gradually we will see lot of use of biodiesel, but I am not sure whether it is going to replace the fossil fuels. Whether we have the
Right.
capacity to replace the fossil fuels is a different question to answer.
Right. So there you have it. Yes, biodiesel is certainly the future, but whether it will replace it completely, probably we don't have an answer to that yet. But definitely, it's going to add a lot of dollars in the pockets of our farmers. Having said that, so that answers your question, and then of course answers the next question, Bhargav. So I will not come to your question. Moving ahead to Purnima's question: what is the future of bioinformatics combined with artificial intelligence? Over to you, sir.
There's no question of what is the future. That is the future. Biotechnology and AI is the
You
future.
heard it. You heard it,
Okay,
guys.
because
Yeah.
earlier we used to do the, if I have to take an example, we used to
Right.
do a very different approach for the target identification, hit identification, and the lead development. Okay, now all these are done in silico. This term itself is
Correct.
existing only in the recent past. We have been using
Right.
in vitro, in vivo, in silico. In situ. But now there is a new term that is coming, which is called as in silico. This is because of bioinformatics. Now, how
Mhm.
efficiently you are going to use this in silico is going to be determined by AI, artificial intelligence. So this combination is
Correct.
a very, very interesting and very efficient combination.
Right. I would like to add one line here, guys. In the next 25 years, you're not just looking at AI and bioinformatics, there'll be quantum computing. When you combine all the three, you will see a lot of drugs being discovered. Okay. A lot of molecular moieties which will keep coming up. Why? Because the computing will enhance, the bioinformatics will become sharper, and of course, AI is growing day by day. So, what you're looking at, that's the future, sir, rightly told you. So, now moving ahead quickly to the next question, which I have it here. Uh, so the question is from Esha Biswas, and to summarize the question, she says, "What scope can I think of in the field of botany other than teaching and research?" Over to you, sir.
That's really a very interesting question. I just want to put a perspective in place. Botany, as you're rightly mentioning, I would really encourage you to look into botany as an integral part of biology. It cannot stand alone. Botany cannot grow, or botany is not a science which can grow standalone in research or standalone in academia. Botany, when
Correct.
combined with the part of life, are we thinking that we can survive without plants? If the question is no, then we cannot survive without botany, right? So it is a very
Correct.
simple equation of understanding how the subject botany is an integral part of the overall biological existence of human being and existence of life on the planet. If you think it from that perspective, you will see there are a lot of scope of development in botany.
All right. So let me quickly summarize Dr. Ishwaran's point here. If one finger is botany, we combine it with all other five like AI, machine learning, agri, tech, clean tech, combine all this, and then it becomes a stronger field. And that's what he means there. As a standalone field, it may not grow, but when you combine, that's the future. Okay, having said that, quickly, guys, we'll move to the next topic. Okay, Lipsa Priya question. How to get a job in Biocon? I have completed MSc in microbiology. Over to you, sir. Yes, $1 million question.
No, no, no. It's a very straightforward, simple question. It's certainly a very interesting question too. Anybody who is aspiring to join in any organization in biotechnology can join. It is the simple formula. See, if you can think about it this way, you please deserve before you desire. That is the very important
Absolutely.
thing we need to remember. Find out what the industry is looking for. Not only Biocon, it can be Biocon or any company. You have to first look into what is that the company is looking for. This is not a very hard answer to find. You just go to Google and find out what is the job description for a production person, what is the job description for a quality control person in Biocon or in any of the biotech company. You will get to know the answer, what is that they are looking for in a person. Find
Right.
out whether you have that capability, whether you have that skill. If you have that skill, you are already ready. If you do not have that skill, you have to develop the skill. It is very simple.
Wonderful lines there. So you have it, you have the answer whether you want a job in Biocon or anywhere. You need to have the skills. If you don't bridge that gap between academics and industry, you'll be left out. And that's what Biocon Academy is all about. That's what Biotecnika is all about. And let me quickly summarize about Biocon or any other company in the biotech sector. They're out there to create a dent in the universe. If you have the right skill set to help them create that product, which will create a dent in the universe, create a dent in the biology of human being, they would love to have you. That's the quick answer to your question. Okay, quickly, let's move on to the next one. So we have a question, actually a lot of question now flowing in. Video Zone asks, okay, future of dentistry, of course. Over to you, sir.
I'm really, really sorry. I am not an expert in that. I really cannot think of how it is progressing because I don't have the domain knowledge in dentistry. So I really cannot find out or even comment and misguide you. I'm really sorry about it.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for your kind notice there. But let me add one line here for the dentistry guys. It's a part of biology, yes. Your dentistry here, when you combine with AI and ML, by looking at the tooth structure, your AI will be able to predict which tooth will actually decay first, which tooth needs filling faster, and how soon and when exactly. You will be, revolutionize the entire dentistry field will get revolutionized once AI and ML goes into this. So if you are a dentist, go for that. Okay, learn AI and ML. Now, Agniv KL question is: can gene therapy going to make us the future advanced doctors? Gene therapy.
Yes, that is really a very, very interesting way of looking at it, because gene therapy has the potential to make any person to understand the diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis very well. So, from that perspective, I'm not saying that it is going to make you a doctor. At least it is going to make you feel like a doctor, because you are on the control. You will have a control over how it is diagnosed, how it is treated, how it is going to look like after treatment. Certainly, gene therapy is going to make you feel like that. No doubts about it.
Okay, there you have it, Agniv. Moving ahead to Ambuja, and he or she has a doubt on AI. She says, no doubt AI helps narrow down the scrutiny of large data, but how can you rely upon it as data itself is gathered by actual lab work? Over to you, sir.
Okay. This is very, very interesting question, Ambuja. See, when you are saying that the data itself is created in the actual laboratory conditions, we are talking about accumulation of data. We are talking about big data. Big data is accumulation of data from worldwide, which means you are not restricted to the access to your own data, but you are having now access to global data. When you have an access to global data, it is very important that you should have skills to understand how to understand this global data. For example, you have to go through some basic courses like R. R is one of the programming language which will allow you to do data mining. This is exactly what I was telling you. A biologist cannot remain as biologist to be progressive. If you want to be progressive, you have to have some computational aspects in you. A computational person cannot become successful only in computation unless he has some amount of biology in him, if he wants to make change in this domain. So, to answer your question, the data is not restricted to what you are creating in the lab. We are talking about all across the globe, whatever data that is being created in various labs. Then it becomes a validated data. That's the data set we are
Right.
talking.
So I hope that answers your question, Ambuja. Okay, we are running out of time, right, guys? We have last 5 minutes. Quickly, I'll try to sum up as soon as possible all of them. Anant has a question. I'm a BTech biotechnology, so how to join Biocon Academy? So I think, over to you, sir. You should answer that question.
More than welcome. Please visit bioconacademy.com and find out what are the programs where we have given BTech as the eligibility criteria. BTech is a very, very interesting domain. It is a very, very interesting course. For the reason, this is the first time people started thinking applied biotechnology, applied biology, because MSc is understanding the biology from the scientific side, and technology is purely from engineering side, engineering or application side. This course is the one which started making people think there is a completely a different course available to understand how to apply biological principles in industry. So BTech is certainly a very interesting course, and you have a BTech degree, and you are more than welcome to visit Biocon Academy and see which program can be useful to you.
All right, I would like to add one more line here, guys. Whatever qualification you have, if you want to apply soon, because the last dates are very particular. Once they close, they don't open it again. Okay, that's first thing. I'm giving you a hint and a tip. Second thing, they're very choosy. They're very particular. So they will interview you if you're applying. So in your interview, you have to be really good. So you brush up your books and then go in for the interview, because Biocon Academy takes up really talented people. Okay, so is Biocon, right? So that's one hint I wanted to give you guys. Biocon Academy may agar apply karna hai. If you want to apply, please take note of these. Okay, quickly going ahead to the next question. Bhargav Reddy asked about what about the contribution of biotechnology in bioenergy? Over to you,
Yes,
sir.
as I was telling you earlier, The bioenergy is a very, very important field that is emerging in India, but it is a well evolved segment across the world. Now we are trying to replace some percentage of fossil fuels with green fuels. You might have seen a lot of stickers saying go green, right? We are in the initial stages. Only the success factor depends on the capability building. How we are going to build the capability to replace the fossil fuels on a larger extent with the biofuels is what is going to actually answer. And biotechnology students are the ones who are pivotal in making this change in this world.
All right. So, Bhargav, I think that answers the question. But I can see right now there are more than I think 20 plus questions, and all of them are so imaginative. I just want to do a hats off to all the attendees right now. I mean, imagination to बहुत ही अच्छा है. You guys have somebody has asked about like role of AI in detecting bioterrorism. Wow, that's a nice question by Himanshu. And in fact, a lot of questions are coming in, right? So let's take up Himanshu's question and try to wind up, and then there's a promise for everyone else that we will come to your questions as an article on Biotecnika website. We'll pass on the question to Dr. Ishwaran. Let the team of Biocon Academy answer that because we are running out of time. So please don't mind. Dr. Ishwaran, quickly to you, how can we use AI against bioterrorism threats? Over to you, sir.
Any technology is a double-edged sword. Please remember that.
Right.
Okay, it can be used either ways. So the first thing you need to have in your mind is the objective. If your objective is to save and improve the quality of human race or the living organisms on the planet, then certainly you will have all the tools to actually use the technologies, particularly to detect whatever happens otherwise. One of that is AI. AI can predict a lot of things. There are a lot of studies where it has been proven that AI can predict epidemics and pandemics. Okay, because AI works on data. AI is basically working on data. So more data that is available more efficiently, AI will predict the happening in the future. So I'm sure we will have a world where AI will tell beforehand whatever that can happen to human race because of some negative energy, and we will have technologies. We will have the human force to combat against this and live longer. Thank you.
All right. So that was Dr. Ishwaran, Academic Dean and Director at Biocon Academy. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. One more line I would like to add about the last question. There is already a company called as Palantir Technology by Peter Thiel, which does the same thing, but AI uses data to detect terrorism, and it helps NSA in US to prevent terrorism in the United States. So something like that already exists, just that it can also be used for bioterrorism as well. So now here is a promise to all my attendees. The question which came after Bhargav Reddy, which is Vijay Shankar Gupta till Himanshu, and of course afterwards, whatever questions has come, our team has noted it down, and we will create an article or where we will have answers from Dr. Ishwaran, and we'll publish it on the website so that you can go through it. But quickly to summarize, Biocon Academy has shown us the path, but the question in front of all of you is: are you ready to grab that? Tell me in the comment section. Are you ready to become futuristic? Are you ready to use the technologies of the future? If the answer is yes, then here's the chance, guys. Biocon Academy is providing financial support also to all those deserving students who want to create a dent in the universe with the courses, with the skill-driven courses, upskilling courses at Biocon Academy. And you heard it right earlier, when I said they have 100% placement record, 20 plus batches they have started and placed them. And right now, the 21st batch probably is going to come up very, very soon. The notification will be on Biotecnika. Okay. So please go ahead, check out bioconacademy.com and do not miss out. Guys, chat में yes sir लिखना आसान है, but futuristic बनना है. अगर future का Bisleri, Boeing या Airbus बनना है, if you want to be the Elon Musk of future, if you want to be the Hargobind Khurana of future, then take the first step today. Biocon Academy has come up with this right kind of initiative. So go ahead, join bioconacademy.com. You can check out all their courses. And of course, on Biotecnika, as if you're subscribed, of course you are subscribed, you'll keep getting all those notifications, right? So with these thoughts, I would like to thank our guest of honor, our expert of today. Thank you so much, sir. बहुत अच्छा लगा. We really loved your futuristic views और मुझे बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला. And I'll keep nudging students and telling them to join Biocon Academy because the way you people are taking the biotech industry forward, trust me, it makes us really proud. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was really a pleasure once again hosting all of you in this webinar. Take care. Bye-bye.